Hear Me See Me podcast is sponsored by Zenoti, the #1 cloud software for salons and spas. Because when people feel good, they find their greatness. I am Stuart Roberts, and I'm really excited to introduce my new podcast, Hear Me See Me. It's just over 5 years ago. I did something that changed my life. What it did, more than I could have ever realised, it helped me. I have met some absolutely amazing people. Some of the people that work in some of these places, many of them are volunteers, but some of them it is their job. I'd had this idea after being inspired by a guy in America I'd seen cutting hair on the streets and seeing the difference it made to the guys who were there. This is more than a job. This is a calling. Hello, this is Stuart from Hear Me See Me podcast, and today's story is very powerful. It's a young man called Darren Garwood, and he's got a story about his son, Jackson, and rather than me bang on, I just want to introduce him and let him tell you himself. Evening, Darren.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good stuff.
You're a very important person because you just interrupted me halfway through a Chinese takeaway. So to drag me away from food, that is no mean feat, sir.
Main one.
I'll have the rest for breakfast.
Sounds good.
So can you, tell me about everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a tough one, but I use these podcasts a little bit of therapy, really, to get stuff off my chest, and it's quite good. But Jackson, we had Jackson in 2014. He was a nice, healthy young lad, and 1 year old, coming up to 1 year old, he was doing everything that that age should be doing. He was trying to walk. He was saying, "Mum, Dad," feeding himself. Just a normal, happy 9 month, 10 month, 11-month old child. And just after his first birthday, we see him in his high chair, and he just started picking food up with his mouth, and he couldn't move his arms. And was like, "Well, this is strange." So it's not right. And obviously, as a parent, first time, I was thinking, "God, what is it? Is it a tumour? Is it a growth in his in his arm or something, the terrible thoughts that you think." And so we took him to our local hospital, and before we knew it, we was transferred to Great Ormond Street. And within a few days, they gave us some news to say that our child had a very rare terminal illness called Krabbe disease. Only one child a year is born with it in the UK, and they probably wouldn't see his second birthday. So, so it's a bit hard to take, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's just not a conversation when I hear, is it?
No, I remember. I mean, my memory's a little bit vague from then, but I remember being told, and I remember just spinning and just ready to. And all I said was, "I don't care what it is, as long as you've got something for it," And then they told us that no, they haven't, and and it's just obviously ripped us apart. We crushed basically. We were just. I remember I just fell to the ground and just couldn't, But I remember I said to my wife, "That's it. I want to give up. I want to finish it. What's the point? If you can't have kids and teach them everything to try and make them a better person than you are, that's the idea, isn't it?" And she went to me, "Jackson needs you. You're his dad. We're all he's got, and he needs you." All we said together, and she's strong. My wife, she's really strong, and that gave me a kick up the backside that I needed, because we was in the hospital for a few weeks, or about 10 days, something like that, and I was just obviously we couldn't sleep together in the same hospital because we weren't allowed. Only one parent, so I was in a hostel, and you can imagine, worst news of my life, on my own in a hostel, away from home. It was just But anyway, so. Funny enough, we had a holiday booked literally a few days into this, or about 10 days into the Great Ormond Street stay when we first found out the news, and we had a holiday. We literally walked out of Great Ormond Street Hospital and got on the plane and went to Spain. And I really want to do it. Obviously, but it was the best thing we done, because we literally just come over and we just had a good time. But anyway, so after that, we were sitting there one day, and Jackson, so you start seeing Jackson deteriorate now. I mean, we're told he'd only live till 2. He's 6, so you can imagine. It's brilliant, but he needs a lot of care. You know, he's fed for a tube. He can't see. He can't talk. He can't walk. He can't hold his neck up properly. You know, he struggles to swallow his saliva. You know, and he's in quite a bad. You know, it's not great quality, but we're doing our best. You know, what we can do to keep him happy. So anyway, so this is how quick things sort of deteriorate. I gave him a bottle of milk one night, and he had it fine. The next morning he couldn't swallow. Literally, it's like that. So, yeah. So, excuse. And, so we were sitting there one night and we noticed Jackson obviously he's getting more weaker over the time. His signals don't work. It's a neurological disease that don't allow signals to pass properly. And, I mean, I was told if I knew everything about it, I'd be in a different job. Do you know, I wouldn't be for the job I'll be doing. I'll be some sort of specialist something. But, yeah, so after seeing Jackson, obviously after a couple of years, my wife just said to me one night, I wonder what he dreams of. And I said, well, he doesn't have a great day. You know, we do our best for him. We try and get him to smile. And I said, what about if I make his dreams up for him? And I started writing these. I didn't even pass English at school. I never tried really. You know, I've always been good with words. And so I started writing these silly stories and about a little boy who has no powers in the day, but at night becomes a superhero. And it took off really well. And, you know, the idea is to encourage children of all types, you know, whether you've got any issues or whether you're not, just to go to sleep and whatever you can't do in the day, do it at night when you can do whatever you want. You know, and just crack on with it. And just if you can't do it in the day, now I teach myself. I go to bed and go, come on, let's have a really good dream tonight. Let's have a really good dream. I could do with one tonight. And we don't. And I also think that children are growing up too quickly. You know, at 16, you must become an adult. And I get that. You know, you must grow up. But I've spoken to nurses who say that they have children that come in at 5-6-year-olds suffering from stress. You know, it shouldn't be because of what's put on them, you know, and so that's the story. The story's done really well. The first book, Jackson Saves an Owl, that went to number 1 in the children's books on Amazon and become the 38th book on best book on Amazon out of 38 million or something like that, only for a short while. And the idea is with the book as well, it's to encourage children to dream, but also I've got a daughter as well who's younger than Jackson, and I want everyone to remember Jackson. And the best, you know, I've mentioned this before, but the best thing is, you know, I want my family to see Jackson in bookshops, you know, his face still there when he's no longer here, and just say, there's my brother there, there's my brother, you know, and that going. And the greatest thing is I've been away, because we can't fly with Jackson, so I've been to Norfolk for a little break and stuff like that, and we've been sitting in the beer garden or somewhere, and a lady's come up to us and gone, "Oh, you're Jackson, aren't you? I've seen you on the TV." And I'm like, I don't care about whether they know me, whether they know Jackson. So, yeah, and it's just brilliant. So he's become a little celebrity in his own, you know. So that's what I wanted. It's and you say even going through. Like the early days, I keep saying I was a bit like Ricky Gervais in Afterlife. You know, miserable as hell. I remember ready to attack a bus driver or something, have a go at a bus driver because he'd done something. That's not me. And I remember my wife, her eyes out, and I remember looking at this bloke, and I just thought I was known as the person whose son's dying. You know, that's what. Oh, look, there's that bloke. There's the person whose son's dying. You know, obviously things going on. And I remember seeing this man. I was like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? And then something weird happened, which changed my view on things. And it was someone put £1,000 in my son's just given account, and it wasn't the money. It was what they wrote. It was, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I'm someone that cares. And I was like, well, was that the bloke I swore at today? Was that the person I shouted at? His car got too close to my car, was it? And I just thought, it's not that man's fault just because he can't drive properly. He's rubbish I'm rubbish at things. It just don't make me an horrible person. It's just because he's rubbish at driving. And I honestly think if it wasn't for that, I realised at that point how many people were helping us and how many people were supporting us, and, you know, how can I be horrible when that many people are looking after us? Do you know?
I can't even comprehend what it must be. And when you said about that, I don't know. It's a bit numb. I don't know. It's a bit unclear with that first conversation. But a friend of mine, like our kids are like late 20s, like, because I'm a hell of a lot older than you. Our kids are all late 20s, and his daughter, they all sort of had babies about the same time. His daughter has got an illness where she's sort of, she can't see, she can't speak, she can't stand. She can sort of feed herself and that, you know. But
yeah.
I remember him saying to me once, because she started there again, they thought she was okay. And then something, I think she just wouldn't stop crying. I think it was just, you know, and then it went to doctor, then Onward Street again.
Yeah.
And you may have ended up in the same calf. He said that they just said to him, look, she's never going to see, she's never going to do anything. And he said that him and his wife, they just went across the road, and it was the normal. They just went over to the calf. And they said it was just, they didn't know what to say to each other, and they was just eating breakfast and just like,
yeah. I know the calf as well. It's nice food in there when you can eat. When I get bad news, I won't eat for about 3-4 days. I lock myself up. I really don't look after myself, and I just sort of go down, and then I make sure I'm all right first, and then look after myself. And when I go to eat, it's like eating chalk, and I don't want to, you know, it's just. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's I can't put it into words. It's obviously the most horrifying time that you can ever imagine, and but I don't look at, you know, I look at Jackson now and think that I just want to do everything to make your days happy. You know, you don't have a great day. You don't, you know, as long as he's getting cuddles and he's on our lap. But obviously, I've got to go to work. I've got other children that need after, so he's not getting. I mean, he's being looked after, obviously, but he would love to be on your lap 24 hours a day. Just having cuddles. When I get home from work, I only see him for a couple of hours when I get home from work, and I just give him cuddles and do my silly stories, and you know, and and we felt that when you said about your friends, we felt that as well when we felt like we were told by Great Ormond Street, and it probably weren't the case. It was just that I was so in a different zone world or whatever, but I felt like they said, your son's going to die, your son's going to live to 2, he's going to die, see you later. And that was what it felt like. And we were just, I honestly think, well, I know I was in a daze for a good couple of years, to be honest, because I remember I went back to work and I accidentally drove. I was supposed to go to I was supposed to go to Stansted, and I drove to Newmarket instead. So I don't know how I got there. And, you know, like, it must have just been... Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. So still the books. I'm so proud of them. The books. I'm proud of Jackson. He's the strongest person I know. I'm proud of the books for what I didn't expect him to do this well, but I'm proud because I like sharing the story about Jackson, and that's what you do. Yeah. They're called Jackson Superhero, if I've not mentioned it, and it's Jackson Saves an Apple. And we've got another one called Jackson Solution to Pollution that basically is, I try and use nice stories. I try and use words that he likes. Obviously he likes hearing his name, and we still get little smiles out of him. And Jackson Solution to Pollution is just like, it's a friendly story about he flies over a desert island, it's full of rubbish, and he's trying to get kids to look after the country we live in. It's supposed to be, we're the only ones that can look after it properly, and it's trying to start young, and it's just a nice friendly message. And the next story, the one that's just recently come out, I got a blurb from Russell Brand for the back of the book. Got one from Claire Friedman. She's the author of Aiden's Love Underpants. And Rich Wilson, another comedian. One from says, I love Jaxie Superhero more than smoked salmon. So that's he said that. So I said, yeah, all right, that's fair enough. But it's a friendly. It's another good little funny story. It's Jackson Saves the Moon. He's trying to get kids when they're locked up, especially in this day and age. Look out the window. If the moon's shining, it means everyone's having fun. If it's a dull moon, it means you need to have more fun and try and get kids to
get it brighter.
Yeah, it's the world's biggest power by fun. So it's
brilliant.
So it's just enough little friendly story. Should have another one coming out around about June time, and it's Jackson. Jurassic Jackson or something like that. I haven't got a name for it yet, but just work. If I can get him to smile, then it's a good book, I think, and then we go from there. Let's get it out there.
What's interesting? So what's your job? What is your trade?
I'm a clerk of works.
You're what? Sorry, I didn't. It cut out.
Clerk of works. So basically someone that makes sure someone does their work right to the standards that it's supposed to be done to. So,
but you're a grass.
Yeah, pretty much. I hate it. Every time I used to be the one doing the work, and now I'm the one, and it's horrible.
Grassing the other ones up.
Yeah. Basically, yes. I work for Essex Highway, so any new development being built, housing development, or it's built to a certain standard, to Essex Highway standard, basically, and that's what I do.
Yeah, but also the contrast is that, say, like on the surface, someone would think that's very, like, a very uncreative job. It's a very like orthodox job.
Yeah.
So from this tragic situation, has brought out this creativity in you. That would you have ever known it was in there?
Definitely not. I always thought in the back of my head, I'm good at countdown. Do you know? So I always, I know how words are supposed to end and supposed to start. If I could see a load of letters, so I was always good at rhyming, so messing around doing. But I'm not good at singing, so I never thought about doing, rapping like that. Yeah. But not. I never thought. No, I just didn't have a clue. I just thought I'd write silly stories or mess around with, change words to songs to wind my wife up, and stuff like that. I just started doing these stories, and it was just. I remember the first two books got published, and I was chuffed, absolutely chuffed. I got some people interested in America to take the rights on for the story at the moment, but it's sort of, and it's a tough one because it's sort of like I'm handing my son over. Do you know if I? You know what it's a story that I've created about. If it was about a super pig that I was going to do, I don't. But it's not. It's about my son, and it's really damaging me at the moment because I don't want to do it. But, I know it's probably a good move to do it, but I don't want to. So
I can get that. So it's obviously like an illustrated book. Who does the illustration?
So So what it was, I've known this guy since I'm 39, and I've known this guy since I was about, I don't know, 15, maybe 18, something like that. And he's a guy I used to work with, a local bloke. And I knew he used to do illustrations and artwork for schools and special needs centres and stuff like that. And so I just asked him to do it. And he said, yeah, whatever we do, we do, And the first idea was just to get, his name's Carl Osborne, by the way. I better drop that in because he's going to get...
Yeah, tell us.
We just thought we'd staple it together and just get a book for Jackson. And then in that time, I sent off his stuff to a publisher, and they come back and said, "Yeah, we want to do it." And I said, "Oh, by the way, I've got your publishing deal and that was for the first two books."
Really?
But, so I've self-published the third book because the publishers we were with shut down due to COVID. So. Or two other, probably not due to COVID, but they probably had to concentrate on one of their many businesses.
So, and is there a charity to raise money for the condition that Jackson's got?
Yeah, there's a charity foundation called Krabbe UK, and obviously there's not many families in it because it's such a rare disease, and the kids that get it don't tend to last as long as Jackson. You have some good outcomes, 3, 4, but generally before 2. And there's not much treatment for Krabbe's. It's more just comfortable chairs and stuff like that. We do organic, free range, dairy free, sugar free diet for him. We have done for the last 4 years. Grass fed meat. And we use CBD oil, and we use a hyperbaric oxygen chamber every other day, which we bought in our place. So, which is breathing oxygen under pressure, which I think it helps with the red blood cells to reproduce nerves and move, improve your body basically. Yeah. So it's got to be good.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're going to do anything that you think's right, aren't you? But
exactly,
then everything comes at a cost, doesn't it? So, it's these things need to be paid for.
And that's the thing. I mean, I have to thank absolutely everyone that has helped us and done, and supported it, because I've done a charity walk. I walked from was it, Gravesend to Canterbury for that. So I managed to, and back again, done the Good Talking Way, because we managed to raise about 10 grand, which was amazing, and where we got the chamber. So we wouldn't be able to do it without everyone else, and that's what I mean. I can't be a miserable person no more. I've got I've got to, and I want to be happy as well, So we have a Just Giving for Jackson because, Jackson's, like I said, I've always said that, money, I could win the lottery tomorrow and it won't change me. I remember the day, I always used to buy the lottery religiously, but the day Jackson was in hospital when he got diagnosed, I thought myself, Saturday I'd buy a lottery, and I thought, it's not going to change my life. The lottery is not going to change my life. I could win 8 million, I could win 20 million. My son is still like that. So, money don't impress me, or I don't need a nice car. I don't need a nice TV. It would be nice, but I don't need it. No. And only until I need something for Jackson or someone in my family, money then becomes important. It's not. I'm one of these people. If I'm poor, I'd like to be poor with everyone. If I'm rich, I want to be rich. Everyone to be rich with me. Because what's the point of being rich on your own and no one else can enjoy it?
No, precisely.
I don't see the point of that. But yeah, so a lot of money goes towards Jackson and obviously supporting Jackson and cool. Just keeping him happy, really. So
yeah, I think obviously, like when this podcast goes out again, we'll put every link that we've got for it. That you give me all the links. We'll put everything on there. And that's the thing about it, isn't it? It's not the most upfront. It's not the most upfront illness that people are going to have heard of. So there's almost like, it doesn't seem right, but it's almost like a queue. And the least known you are, the further down the queue you are.
It is. We were told by I think it was the head of neurology at Great Ormond Street, that it was her third case in 25 years. So, when we have took Jackson to the hospital, a local one, and we say he's got Krabbe disease, they don't know what it is. We managed to speak to one person in there who knew what it was, and they said, honestly, it was only because they had an interest in neurological diseases that they learned for about 30 minutes on it on medical school in about 6 years. So, do you know, it's that rare. But, 1 child a year, it's not going to be. But, yeah, so... yeah, that's about it. I get a bit washed out,
Yeah, no, it's this. The thing is, the important thing is, it is for everyone to get behind the books. Like I know what my granddaughter's going to be getting in a Christmas present now. She's going to go get Jackson superhero books delivered, and then people have got the Just Giving page as well. And it's just doing as much as that as we can.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. I've got I'm just trying to think, I've got a website now. It's jacksonsuperhero.com, and you can get the books off there. And they're actually available in Amazon. This is the amazing thing. They've gone to Waterstones and WH Smith's, and fingers crossed, Morrison's going to be taking them on as well. So it's that's the thing. I just want him out there. I want everyone to know who he is.
I want everyone to know Jackson
Superhero. Yeah, it's doing, and Jackson. Obviously, mainly, and the greatest thing is that I want what I found difficult was when I was reading books to Jackson, and as a parent, reading any book to a child that won't be able to do anything the character in the book's doing is really hurtful, and it actually makes you upset because you're reading this story to them and they won't be able to do it. So that's what made me come up with the superhero, because we can all do what we want in our dreams, and it helps. As a parent, knowing that their kid can still do that stuff, that you wouldn't have been able to do, with just reading a normal book to them. So I think that's another reason. And I've been told as well, it's probably when I don't do, and I'm not busy with Jackson Superhero and Jackson, it's creative release. I get a little bit upset and a bit depressed when I'm not doing something, so keeping me busy doing this. I look after. But it will sing the song through the day, and and when he's asleep, I'm a little bit lost. All I've done is I've been awake and sort of on edge for the last 6 years. When he goes to sleep, I've got his sensor next to me, so I can hear everything he's doing. But it feels like I'm not doing enough, so I feel like I have to start doing stuff with and do stuff for him because he's not going to be here forever, and he should. I'd swap my 39 years tomorrow or today. Now.
Of course you would. How do you protect yourself, Darren? How do you look after yourself?
I can. It's not brilliant, I'd say. I mean, my wife is one of these people that, when they're obviously with Jackson, we can't go abroad. We have family holidays, but we can't be away too long. She needs his chamber, and obviously we don't relax. So when we want to go away, my wife will go away on her own with friends, and I'll go away with my friends. So we have a 3-day break somewhere each, and go from there. But no, it's. If I was going to relax for one day, it doesn't do me no favours though, because I'd probably go down to the pub, get drunk, and watch the football come in, and then feel absolutely wafted the next day. Yeah, and have to deal with. So it don't help me, but I do that as my release. I'll probably have a beer, or I'll go fishing or something like that. But then I tend to have a beer fishing. But I don't drink through the week. I don't drink indoors. I'm a social drinker. Yeah. And my wife, she'll go to a spa where I can't sit still. I'm one of these. Yeah. I've always been a person. I like to talk to people. Even on holiday, I'm one of them annoying people. Where are you from? What 14 you school? He's from Essex. I'm from Essex. We must be
mates. So fishing would be a good one. I
like fishing. I go down to the river fishing, like sea fishing, and we normally take a little bar down there, have a couple of beers, and then whatever we can, barbecue.
Because that's like that's a real. We go fishing off of a boat at Mersey Island, and it's just it gets your head cleans your head out, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, it does, really does. But what I've learned is I'm not very good on boats, so I don't. I spent 12 hours with my head in a bucket once. No, it's probably about 8 hours. My father-in-law went, look at this dogfish you caught. It's a big one. I don't care about that.
Yeah, I've done that.
It's not fun, is it?
That ain't fun. No, that bit ain't fun. I'm a fair weather fisherman. I'll go out when it's sunny and calm.
Yeah.
You can keep your November fishing day trips. Well, Darren, look, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I just want to tell you what how much I admire you because you could people they don't get through this stuff, they don't cope with it in the way that you both cope with it, and you probably don't like praise, but it's a great thing you're doing, because you're not only helping Jackson, you're helping yourself, you're helping your family, but you're helping an awful lot of other people out there. Because I can relate to it, and I'm going to be telling my mate all about. I'm going to. Oh fucking hell! I'm going now. I'm going to tell me mate all about it, because like Gracie, the fault if for him to then think that, and then to think what she can be doing when she's it's just such a wonderful healing idea. So for that, mate, I really congratulate you, and I'm going to do everything I can. I'll shout from the rooftops, and. We'll put all the links on. We'll share the hell out of it, and fair play to you. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
I appreciate that. Honestly, no, it's I really do, because it keeps me going. To be fair, it keeps me going. I've got a little daughter. She's a little ray of light. Yeah. But you can look around and see Jackson, and he's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Kissing me, I love him, and he's absolutely beautiful. But you then see his problems, and then this is the only thing I can do for him apart from cuddling him. I want to get him out there, and we haven't had much luck in the last year or so. We had a daughter. She was due on the 3rd of December last year, but she passed away during birth. Or just before birth, sorry, and so we had to have a funeral for her, and it's been really hard, so it's nice to have a little bit of, again, it was something to, not that we got over that, but we tried to deal with it while we're still dealing with Jackson, and it's a real big kick in the teeth and knocked us down, but we're sort of picking ourselves back up, and it's nice to concentrate on Jackson, and it's and I appreciate everyone's helping us out and getting Jackson out there and just Yeah, no, appreciate it.
Well, you know, you've all got each other.
Yeah.
You're going the right way. You're healing yourselves. You're healing a lot of people. So,
cheers.
Keep in touch, mate. And I'll let you know as soon as it's going out, and we'll push all the links out as well.
No, thanks, Stuart. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Have a great evening.
Yeah, I will do. Cheers.
I'm going to see if the Chinese is still warm. Just over 5 years ago, I did something that changed my life. What it did, more than I could have ever realised, it helped me. I have met some absolutely amazing people. Some of the people that work in some of these places, many of them are volunteers, but some of them, it is their job. This is more than a job. This is a calling.